This is day 1 of me reviewing subreddits. The subreddit I'm starting with is twosentencehorror, which I thought was quite a safe one to start with, because it's well known. There's videos that have been done on it, and I'd like to review it. So let's just sort by new and get into it. As I approach adult, the responsibility of leading our herd was bestowed upon me. It is also my responsibility to inform everyone. A second son has suddenly appeared. What are your thoughts? Roblox role plays. Let's keep scrolling. This pale, grotesquely, this pale, grotesquely looking woman keeps on appearing everywhere I go and won't leave me alone. She won't stop punishing me for my twin sins all of those years ago. Okay, that's a creepy one. Like, having a twin, being haunted for your twin's wrongdoings. As a story, as a no. After a long day of hiking, finding a cabin in the woods to me to sleep in was like a miracle. But the miracle turned into a nightmare after hearing the click of the door locking behind me. Yes. Reminded me of Resident Evil 7 with that. I'm a comment that. I'm hoping that like people like me on Reddit. My body had been itchy for weeks, but this morning I finally felt relief from it, until the first fly burrowed out of my skin as I watched.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Okay. Reminds me of a no sleep post, r/no sleep, which I've also briefly explored. Basically, like, I went on it thinking it was alright because the first story I saw was about a boy in a sunflower field, and it sounded so sweet, and like it was about child abuse, but it sounded really like wholesome in the end. Like there was a message. It was like lyrical. But then I recommended it to my friend, and he went on r/no sleep, and first post he found was about this. It was dark and detailed about how this man died from an itch. Maybe I'll link it in the description, but I don't know because I don't know if that's bad. Today, as Michael buckled his baby girls into the car seats, he had an epiphany about how much more his wife loved these girls because of her fanatical car seat safety than she actually loved him because of a total disregard for protecting him to her vicious, cruel and evil family. Another thought crossed his mind to let the girls ride in the car like he had once when he was little. I'm not sure if I get that one. I'm kinda dumb. We'll move on. I think there's a lot of smart people in here. Every time I got home from school, my dad always says, "How are you?" with a scared tone. Oh, every time I got home from school, my dad always says, "How are you?" with a scared tone of voice, but never, "What are you?" Okay. These can get creepy and like skin crawling. I started banging the hammer harder to get it in more, since I was having trouble doing so. Now for the skull, I whispered to myself. I don't get any of these. I think it's because I sorted it by new. No offense. I've never sorted it by new before. Good morning, honey, the woman said to me as I sat at the kitchen table. I really don't understand why she insisted on pretending to be my mother, or what she did to my real one. Ooh, okay, yeah. Nice one. Coraline. Should I comment there? Yeah. People in this server are gonna like me for sure.
Excuse me?
I could hardly breathe with tears streaming down my face as I held her lifeless body. I had never laughed that hard in my life. Mary awoke to a bespectacled old man squinting into her cage and her captor standing nearby, apologizing for losing control of his urges again. As your lawyer, I recommend you destroy all the evidence, the old man said, and put the location of the body in case we need to leverage with future DAs. Or DAs, sorry. Man, I watch Breaking Bad, so DEAs is in my head. That's the only reason. I don't do drugs. Okay, I say we're done. Lightly tapped into this subreddit. I'm hoping to go into further depth, maybe into this one and into others. So stick around. Goodbye.